Hello, welcome to Entrepreneurs International Network. My name is Iman Argai, the founder of Entrepreneurs International Network, and your host today with the amazing Virginia Muzquiz. I'm going to introduce Virginia in just a few seconds, but with us, we have also the amazing Becky Askerland, who is the organizer of Entrepreneurs International Network. If you don't know what Entrepreneurs International Network is, it's a group of entrepreneurs in 15 cities in 2 countries, in US and Canada at this particular point. We actually were in UK, Australia, New Zealand, and a few other countries, and then their time zone wouldn't work. Anytime we wanted to do something, then they couldn't show up. And then we're like, okay, you know what, maybe we better focus on a time zone that actually works for the group of people that we can hold the event. So anyway, so we are right now across US and Canada and doing these weekly events every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific time. And we're very excited to have every single one of you with us. Now, let me introduce Virginia to you because I am super excited for what Virginia has to share with us. She's a really good friend of mine. We have done a lot of amazing events together. We have, and I've seen actually how Virginia has helped many people to build their referral networks, to build their businesses, and how she supports them, how she mentors them, how she's caring and she travels with her students going everywhere, and it's amazing, Virginia, what you are doing. You're an inspiration and doing massive great work in the world. So let me quickly give you the official introduction of Virginia and then pass the stage off to her. So Virginia Muzquiz, the Referral Diva, helps entrepreneurs build six-figure businesses through referrals, creator of Referrals on Demand, and she teaches how to turn connections into cash. She's a BNI franchise owner. She's a speaker and a podcast host, and she unlocks the collaboration code to help you grow without ads or cold outreach. As many of you know, I grew my businesses by using primarily referral networks and joint venture partnerships. So I'm very passionate about the topic of today, and I couldn't find any better person than Virginia to come here and share with us how we can build a solid referral network for our business and grow and expand it by using referrals. Virginia, you're up.
Thank you, Iman. I really appreciate that. And you know that the work you do in the world is amazing, and you definitely have a heart of gold. And so I'm really honored that you would consider sharing me with your network. And welcome to all of you who have jumped in. It is my sincere hope that I can share with you some great information. I do advise that you grab a pen and a piece of paper because I talk pretty quickly and you're probably going to have a lot of questions. So let me go ahead and get this presentation up here and going. We're going to go ahead and start from the first slide. Very good. So as Iman said, my name is Virginia Muzquiz, and I am the founder of Master Connectors. We are a referral marketing strategic alliance consulting company working with entrepreneurs to help them fuel their passions, fund their dreams, and make a massive difference in the world they live in. And one of the things that I have heard over and over and over again in my several decades of business now is that every entrepreneur dreams of a never empty sales funnel, right? Like you want to have prospects in your pipeline without ever having to worry about it, because the four things you need to do to build a successful business are generate leads, make offers, have sales conversations, and deliver a great product or a great service. But nothing happens if that pipeline is empty. And so I have dedicated my life to sharing with entrepreneurs a really dependable strategy for creating a network that provides you with never ending high qualified, pre-qualified leads. And so if you are here today because you are looking for a dependable stream of high quality leads, go ahead and drop hashtag leads in the chat so I know that you're listening and you're with me. And I'll tell you what, if you don't have your camera on, just remember that that's like networking with a paper bag over your head, according to Suzanne Evans. So you probably want to turn your camera on and be seen, even if you're eating your lunch. That's okay. So I have something that I call the referral funnel secret, and it is a way for you to add 100K to your sales pipeline that and create this referral funnel that powers your business so you can have the freedom to do the things that you want. You know, do you want the freedom to travel? Do you want the freedom to stay home and, I don't know, keep bees or garden or paint or volunteer at a local food bank? I don't know what your passion is, right? But so often we get so caught up in creating leads, creating value, creating the business that we forget to create a life alongside of it. So my goal is to really help you not only create a revenue stream, but also to create a life that you love and that you wake up every morning super happy to be in. So a lot of folks come into these presentations and say, oh, I really hope this is for me. So I just want you to know that if you're a coach, if you're a business to business consultant, if you're a commissioned sales professional, whether you are selling a service or a product that fulfills, that acts like a service. So even if you sell promotional products, I can show you how to not sell stuff, but to sell a service, to sell an outcome, to sell a transformation using the product that you sell. If you have that mindset, this presentation is going to help you do just that. So what I find is that typically entrepreneurs are experiencing one or more of these challenges. So go ahead and get your finger ready to poke a button so I can see where you are in the chat. So the first problem that I hear about is people that are trying to build their business by networking, and they're spending a lot of time doing it, but they're not exactly getting a return on their time and their effort. So that's a number one. So if you're experiencing that currently right now, go ahead and drop a 1 in the chat so I know that that's where you are. And that gives me an opportunity to kind of customize this a little bit to those of you that are in the audience. Now, there's another group of you that are feeling like, well, your network really isn't working. You are giving abundantly. So you've got the giving part down, but you're not always getting anything in return. It's the classic myth, if I give, then I will receive, but you're finding yourself burning out because you're over giving and you are under receiving. And so your business isn't growing, even though you're helping everybody else grow their business. So if that's where you are, drop a number 2 in the chat so I can kind of see where you're at, where you feel like you're helping everybody else, but like, when does the gaining start, right? So the motto in BNI is givers gain. And one time I said to Dr. Meisner, hey, Ivan, I don't get it. I'm doing all this giving. When does the gaining start? And he said, if you're not gaining, you're not doing it right. And that's when I realized that there's a bigger strategy at play here. All right. And so finally, there are folks for whom networking is working. You are finding clients. You are getting promoted. You are getting stages. You are getting visibility. You are getting out there, but it's just not enough. It's not enough to justify all the work that you're doing. So if that's you, where yeah, it's working, I'm making some money, but I really wish this thing would produce more, then that would be a 3. So I can see we've got a lot of 2s and a lot of 1s. Okay, we've got some 3s in here as well. Like, it's working, but you want to make it work better. Terrific. Yay. I love all these responses in the chat. Thank you for being interactive with me. So this presentation is going to solve all 3 of those for you. So one of the things that I want to share with you is this big secret that I discovered along the way. I call it the referral alchemy secret, or the referral funnel secret. It's kind of magical. That's why I really like it. It's a bit of an alchemy to figure out how to make all of this work. And it's sort of taking the lead in your network and sprinkling in some strategy and turning it to gold. So we just talked about these 3 challenges. We're going to start with the first one: networking ad nauseum, but not really getting any results. Typically what I find is if you're networking a lot, but you're not getting results, it's largely because you're networking for clients. So you're confusing networking with prospecting. This is what was happening for Matt. So Matt was a scientist. He came out of the Danforth Center. He spent his days in a plant science lab. That was what he did prior to stepping out to be an entrepreneur. But he had a really unique method of getting things done inside the lab. And it was a team building and a team leadership exercise that he did. And he started to realize that he could use this team exercise to help businesses run more efficiently. And he wanted to get out there and get things done. But all he really knew how to do was that he was supposed to network. So he started networking and he was looking for clients, just sort of, I call it Elmer Fudd networking. If you remember the Bugs Bunny character that was always hunting wabbits. And I said, well, you're hunting clients, right? So if you're out there hunting for clients, it's really hard to find them because you got to figure out where they are and you have to talk to 100 people to find one. And after 18 months of relying on networking to find clients, Matt had one client that was paying him $500 a month. His wife was going berserk. There wasn't enough money in the house. He was starting to feel like not a heck of a great husband, not a great heck of a dad. And he was really worried about trying to figure out what his next move was going to be if he couldn't get this business to work. And so what I shared with Matt is that when you're out networking for prospects, you're networking for people to buy, you only have an opportunity to connect with the top 3% of the network, because those are the only people that have the problem that you solve and are solution seeking in any group of 100 of people that fit in your audience, your well-identified audience. There's another 7% that will have a conversation with you, but they're probably not going to buy because they're just not ready yet. There's 30% of the people who haven't ever thought about you. They haven't even thought that they have a problem. They haven't thought about their situation as a problem. And they're certainly not seeking a solution because maybe they have bigger fish to fry. There's a whole 30% that don't think they're interested at all. And there's a 30% that know for a fact they're totally not interested. And if you want to learn more about this, this comes from Chet Holmes' book, The Ultimate Sales Machine. And it comes from a lot of research that he did. So I want you to think about the fact that if you're a number one and you're out there networking a lot for clients, going out and hoping to get a client from the networking event, for every 10 prospects you approach, maybe 10 will have a conversation and maybe 3 will buy. So when you're out networking, you've got to talk to all of these little bodies. Do you want to be my client? Do you have the problem I solve? Hi, do you have the problem I solve? Do you have the problem I solve? You have to talk to all of those people to find 3 people that might decide to be your client. And what's really scary is how much time it takes. Industry research shows that for you to just get a prospect to have a conversation with you takes about 4 hours of networking. 4 hours to find them, to invite them, to follow up with them, to get them in the chair in front of you. Okay, so if you are closing those direct prospects at a rate of about 25%, which is pretty close to the industry standard, that means that on average, you are going to spend, oops, my numbers are gone. You're going to spend like 48 hours networking to close 3 clients. So write that down for yourself. 48 hours equals 12 prospects equals 3 clients. And then you start to think like, okay, well, that makes sense. That's why I'm exhausted, because 48 hours is 6 to 8 full work days. That's like 2 weeks of your life spent just hunting for the prospects. So the solution, what's the solution? Well, the solution is to start thinking about networking for partners that can bring you those clients. Now, research shows that the average referral partner can bring you 8 to 15 clients during the course of a year. 8 to 15 clients walk to your door towards the course of a year. And I'm going to go on like my estimates way lower than that to show you what the possibilities are. So even if you have a partner that isn't well-trained, isn't well-qualified, isn't really looking for people, you can still network for partners and still make some great money. So here's the reason why. The 3% that's sort of in the solution aware and solution seeking phase, they'll run into you and they might want to have a conversation with you. But that 7% that are kind of problem aware, but they haven't started seeking for a solution, your partner opens up the possibility of tipping that person into a you need to buy now position. Like, why are you going to wait to have a bigger problem when you could just get it fixed right now? And that dramatically increases your opportunity. You go from having 3 prospects to having 10. So that's a more than 300% increase in opportunity to speak with someone that could be your prospect. And so now you don't have to talk to all those people, because why? Because your referral partner is going to bring those little green guys straight to your office, and you can skip talking to the other 90, which frees up your time. So let's take a look at that. Let's just say that in 90 days, I can create 4 partnerships. And each of those partnerships can introduce me to just 4 people. Okay. We'll make it 3 people, not even 8, not 15, 3 people. And let's just say, instead of spending 4 hours prospecting, I spend 4 hours working with my partner. I say, Aman, who are you looking for? And he says, who are you looking for? And we open up our I'm going to say Rolodex because I'm old. We open up our CRM and we start looking at, who do you know and who do I know and who fits. And I actually do a workshop called the Referral Incubator Workshop, where partners come together and spend 4 hours doing this exercise and walk away with dozens and dozens of potential introductions. I worked with a partner in March, and we strategized over $150,000 of potential opportunity between us just for the first conversation. Now, the really interesting thing that I find about referrals is that they close at a much higher rate. So instead of closing maybe 1 in 4, you're probably going to close more like 1 in 3, or maybe 2 in 3, or maybe 3 out of 4. Referrals close between 70 and 85%. So when you're looking at this chart, you're looking like, okay, I can spend 4 hours with referral partners, get the same 12 prospects, right? But I'm going to make more money. My mouse is going crazy over here. So at the end of the day, if you're networking for prospects, you're going to network for 48 hours and get 3 clients, where you could train up for partners in way less than that, a third of the time, and get twice as many clients. So, drop in the chat, #IDO, if you are somebody that would love to have 3 times the clients in 1/3 of the time, because your referral partners know what you're looking for, know how to tee it up, and know how to bring someone who's ready to buy. So that's the number 1 mind shift. If you were a number 1, you just want to ask yourself, am I networking for prospects, or am I networking for partnerships? And if you really are focused on prospecting, I'll give you this one little piece. If you're hunting for clients, go where they are. If accountants make great customers for you, then join the International Accountants Association and go where the accountants are in order to get clients. That's how you hunt for clients. But don't go to an open network. Don't go to a chamber. Don't go to a meetup group that is a general meetup group that doesn't have your target market at it. That's the one place where you can find clients and potentially get more of them, because you have more prospects in the room. So here's what happened for Matt after about 9 months of working with me. He had over 1,100 followers on LinkedIn from nothing. He had no LinkedIn presence at all. He made over 500 new connections. He got 3 new high ticket clients, had a prospect in the pipeline, and launched the Harvest to Pour Business of Beverages podcast, and now has about 75 episodes out. And we created a podcast funnel for him to find his clients. So he's continued on doing that, and he's doing really, really great. Now, our next entrepreneur is working their butt off for other people, but not making a lot of money in return. So this entrepreneur is having endless cups of coffee. You're over caffeinated, but you're going nowhere. Those cups of coffee are leading to no place. And so what I want to show you how to do is, how do you turn the coffee chat to a collaborative chat? What does it take to get from just having coffee to creating a collaborative relationship? That's what Jenny Bellinger needs. Some of you may know Jenny Bellinger. If you've ever been in a room with her, you know her because she's got purple hair and she's about 6 foot tall, and she's a character. So Jenny was a very successful direct sales professional. She sold Park Lane jewelry. She won all the trips. She won all the baubles and the bells and the goodies. And one day she found that what was happening for her was that she was spending a lot of time coaching what she called direct sales orphans. These were direct sales professionals who had lost their upline, and it was starting to impact her business because people were turning to her for all this advice, and she just had a heart for coaching them and wanted them to be really successful. So she approached the company and said, would you hire me as a coach and start paying me to coach these people? And the company said no. So she went out and became a certified life coach and decided to open her own coaching practice so she could start charging these direct sales professionals on how to build their business and how to build their team. But there was a little problem that Jenny faced, and it was this. When she went out on the coaching circuit, all of her referrals dried up. And she came to me and she said, I don't understand it. I'm a single mom. I need to feed my kids. All of my referrals are drying up and I don't know why. And I said, well, it's pretty easy. When you were in Park Lane, you had a bunch of tools and you had a bunch of training and you had materials to give your hostesses and materials to give your referral partners, and everybody knew what you did, but you don't have a toolkit for your coaching practice. You just announced one day that you were a direct sales coach and expected everybody to know how to refer you. And so you're having all these cups of coffee and telling people that you're a coach now and you want them to refer you, but they don't know how. And that is one of the biggest reasons that if you're giving and giving and giving, you have an innate ability to understand how to refer others. But what you're missing is how to train others to refer you, because not everybody has that innate ability to be a connector. You have to train people to do it. So here's what we did. We built a complete training toolkit for Jenny's new partners. We developed a vision and a mission and an impact statement for her business. I operate on something that I call a philanthropy first philosophy, let's call it, to my business, where the first 10% of my revenue goes to a charity. And right now, I work with a new charity, Unsilenced Voices, which is a charity that's helping young girls who are being rescued from human trafficking. So our first 10% goes to philanthropy. Our next 10% is profit first. We put that into our freedom fund, and then the 80% funds the business and the rest of our bills. So we started to create those statements and create that cadence of economy and financial management. We figured out who were the good, better, best connectors, who were the good, better, best prospects for her. What could people look for, listen for, and ask in order to find out okay, that person's in direct sales, they're in the audience, but do they meet Jenny's avatar? Are they someone that needs Jenny? Do they have the problem Jenny solves? And how would I explain to them that they should talk to Jenny about getting their problem solved? Jenny armed her referral partners with testimonials and case studies and told stories, started telling the stories about the people that she had helped. We created an email introduction template. So when someone wanted to introduce her, they were easily able to do that. We also created a direct mail letter. This is a unique product to me. It's a direct mail letter that is psychologically written to hit all 4 DISC personality styles and get better conversion and get a better yes to, would you be willing to meet with this person? We created phone scripts. So you can see we created a huge toolkit with a networking one sheet, everything that a referral partner would need in order to be able to refer Jenny powerfully. And this is what happened. Jenny's revenue doubled every year. Well, not 6, it's been 8 years now. 8 years, Jenny's revenue has doubled year over year. And her podcast, Badass Direct Sales Marketing, is the #1 network marketing podcast in the world. She has interviewed superstars like Jordan Adler, Bob Berg, Jack Canfield, Ivan Meisner. So she is one of the top podcast hosts in the world right now. And her podcast is bar none one of the finest. And it's also won some awards for leadership as well. So once Jenny had that toolkit, she was ready to go and her business started rocking and rolling. Okay. And she continued to use that. So she never did quite get stuck on the revenue roller coaster, which was a great thing. But that is not what happened to Dallas. Dallas was in a position, Doris, badass direct sales marketing. And if you just use the acronym, it's kind of funny. But anyway, moving right along from that. Dallas got stuck on the revenue roller coaster. And that was really what was troubling him. He was out there, he was networking, he was trying all the things, he was doing all the digital marketing things, making lead magnets, creating funnels, doing giveaways, speaking, all the things. He was doing all the things, but he was really neglecting the relationship aspect. He wasn't fully leveraging that. And it was causing him to have a $5,000 month and then have a $1,000 month and then have a $7,000 month and then a famine for 3 months, 4 months. He just really was having difficulty getting to the consistency of things. And my slideshow is kind of wonky. It looks like Dallas's slide it came out missing. So I'm just going to keep moving along here, but I'll tell you a little bit about Dallas. This is kind of how he said he felt on the business cycle that he was on, where he was marketing. And then he would do the sales and he'd get a client. He'd be like, yes, I'm getting a client. But then he would hit the fulfillment button and he'd be freaking out because now he was fulfilling, but he wasn't making any money. And it was really, really hard for him. So he said to me, how do I get off of this roller coaster? What we realized about Dallas was he was networking without a strategic plan, drinking lots of coffee, not having a lot of cash. He was doing a bunch of digital marketing tactics, but they weren't really producing really great results. And his network was hit or miss. In 2021, his income, his coaching income just dipped down to $29,000, which was not enough to pay his bills. It was a $100,000 budget deficit. So if you can just imagine for a moment being the head of household, 3 young boys, a wife who's a stay-at-home mom and teaches yoga on the weekends, and you can't make ends meet. So Dallas did what any self-respecting father and husband would do, and that is he went to work. Now, Dallas was a professional mime, a professional comedian, and a video editor out in LA before he moved into the St. Louis market. So he called up his friends in LA and said, I'm in a bind. Do you have any projects? And so by day, he was grinding in his business, desperately trying to get his coaching business to take root. And by night, he was editing video, which he hated. And it turned him into a bear. He gained 50 pounds. He was angry all the time. And he said, I'm a worse father doing this than I was when I was making no money. And I'm actually a worse husband. And I'm in the worst physical shape of my life. And I can't do this anymore. And his wife said, why don't you go back to Virginia and have her help you put that system in place that you decided you didn't want to do because things were better. We were on the upswing before you did all that other crazy stuff that you're going to do. So Dallas called me back and he said, how do I get off the revenue roller coaster? I said, you do 3 things. Number 1, get clear on who you are, get clear on what you want, get clear on the people that you want to work with, get clear on the transformation that you want to offer, get clear on how you want to do it, get clear on your pricing, get clear, be clear, because a confused mind doesn't buy and a confused partner cannot refer to you. Then create a plan. How are you going to meet with your partners? What are you going to do with your partners? How are you going to generate revenue with your partners as a collaborative effort rather than just going out and meeting people and hoping that they're going to send you money or send you referrals? And then, my friend, just get off the roller coaster. And that's a little bit of financial management that we might have a little bit of time to talk about at the end. But a lot of being on the revenue roller coaster has to do with how you manage the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. So let's talk about getting clear. Who's your tribe? Who's your tribe? Who do you serve? I want you to think about this. you have two different levels of people. Number one is your audience. That's the demographic that you want to serve. And then you have your avatar. That's the actual person. So when you write your emails, when you write your presentations, when you speak on your podcasts, you want to be speaking to the one person that's your ideal client. You want to be thinking, I'm looking at that person in the eye and I am talking to them from the heart and I am helping that one person. That's your avatar. Who do you serve? The next thing we need to think about is, what is the real transformation that we offer? Too many entrepreneurs tell me, I just don't know how to explain to people what I do. The great news, you want to know the great news about explaining to people what you do? You don't have to. Because nobody cares what you do. I don't really care how you solve my headache. You can crack my neck. You can give me acupuncture. You can put frankincense on my temples. I don't care what you do. I just want to get rid of my headache. They don't really care what you do. They care about the transformation that you offer. So what is the outcome that you can guarantee you can lead people through? And you want to make sure that the outcome you're promising is in alignment with your soul, that it's in alignment with who you are, that you can make that promise. I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs come to me very frustrated that they can't build a business. And I find out that the promise they're making is a promise to show people how to do something they've never themselves achieved. And that's a problem. So you want to be thinking about, who am I and what have I achieved and how have I used the tools in my toolbox to make a transformation in myself and the world around me? And then you can build on that because you can point back to it. And then finally, get clear on your team. Who could be on your referral team? Who helps your clients do things that you don't? I guarantee you, I do not create apps. So if somebody says to me, hey, how do I get an app? I'm like, talk to Iman and talk to Actionera. That's where they're going to help you with that. I don't get people stages. That's not what I can teach you to network with people who might get you to stages. But if you want stages, I'm going to go back to Iman and be like, Iman, you got a way to help people get stages, right? Yep. Okay. Well, Lucy needs stages. How do I refer her to you? Because I know my lane. And I know who does what I do, who does what I don't do, and who serves the people that I serve, right? So once you've gotten clear on all of that, then you need to get a plan. And here's where, if you have not been taking notes, this is where I think you might want to start taking notes, okay? Because I'm about to drop a real knowledge bomb on you guys. You know the tools that I shared with you that Jenny created? That's what you need to do to create a plan. You need to have clarity, and then you need to put it on paper or put it in your Actionera app. That would be even better. Put your referral tools in your app, right? Do your training, do your tracking. Are you tracking the results from your people? Too often we're hanging out with a whole bunch of unproductive referral partners who are lovely people. I mean, I love them, right? They make me feel great. They're super cheerleaders, but they're not producing. And we want to be able to spend more time with the people who are bringing us more results, and then love on the people who love us and be social with people, but we don't want to use our business time to do that. And then finally, we need to just get off the roller coaster. And there's a secret to doing that when it comes to building a referral funnel. And it's this: you have to ditch the connection collection and list building approach, where you're doing nothing more than getting names and email addresses and getting people to sign up as an affiliate in your CRM, or just you've got a pile of business cards of people that you met. Like, collecting all of that is not enough. So what you want to start doing is taking all of that list, taking all those connections, and building relationship and building community with those people, investing time with those people, but also having a plan for how they can give back to you. I call that building a referral nexus. Here's the thing: just like bees in a hive, the people in your network want to provide you with different functions. Some people are there to promote you. Some people are there to provide you with resources. Some people are knowledge partners, and some people are referral partners. And it's very important to only expect from people and invest in people in a way that mirrors what they want to bring to the table. So when it comes to your network, when you first meet somebody and you collect up their information, I call that an acquaintance. I met you, I have your information, and we said something like, oh, Tara, this was so fun. We should talk sometime. And Tara goes, yeah, let's talk. And then whether we talk or not is up in the air, right? If we actually do have that appointment, if we actually do speak with one another and we do get to know each other and we do share business knowledge and networking knowledge and experience, we would become what I call an associate. If we agree that we have common audiences and we're willing to put each other in front of each other's audience, that's an advocate move. So right now, me being on this stage is an advocate move on Iman's part. Iman said, you know what, Virginia, we had a conversation on the marketers cruise and he said, how can I help you? And I said, how can I help you? And we strategized what we could do for each other. And he said, why don't I have you come speak at Entrepreneurs International Network? And I said, great, terrific move. We're going to promote each other. Okay. So that's an advocate move. An ambassador move is when you say, hey, I don't have your audience, but I know somebody who does share your audience. I know somebody who could be valuable to you. I have an introduction that I think could help you grow your business, grow your network, grow your net worth. That's an ambassador. They kind of walk you into foreign networks, open doors into foreign places for you. And then finally, your allies. Your allies, they share their resources, they share their networks, they share their knowledge, and most importantly, they know how to find you a buyer and they know how to appointment set for you. They are a de facto appointment setter salesperson for your company that works either on a joint venture commission or works for goodwill or works for reciprocity of some sort that you have formally agreed upon. So you know where you stand and there's a reciprocal relationship there. Okay. The reason Dallas wasn't making money from all of that networking that he was doing was because he was spending all of his time amassing acquaintances and associates, right? And he was giving to them, but he wasn't moving them up the ladder to reciprocity. How do we exchange audiences? How do we exchange networks? How do we find buyers? He wasn't asking those questions. And by spending so much time making acquaintances and building associations with people, he just wasn't getting traction. So when he started to switch, we took all those acquaintances and we took all those associates and we started putting them in piles. Who has the same audience as you do? Who knows people that has that audience? Who serves people every single day that needs what you have in addition to what they're providing so that you can create strategic alliances, so you can create referral alliances with people, collaborations with people. And we put those people into the buckets of potentiality. And then we started making the calls. We started inviting the people. We started talking to the people. Okay. And so what ended up happening was Dallas was able to curate that network, decide, okay, who's an acquaintance, who's an associate, who goes in the advocate pile, who do I want in the advocate pile that's only an acquaintance? Well, I need to have a couple of conversations. And for every single person, we knew exactly who they were and what they could contribute to the network. So he could know how much time to spend, how much money to invest, and what to do with each person and how to generate that reciprocity. Then we found out there were some holes. There were some people that weren't going to work out for him. He'd had a conversation. He's like, Virginia, that might be an accountant that has all the right people, but I don't like the person and I don't want to work with that person. They're not aligned with me. We don't have a vibe. And so then I said, well, the first thing you want to do is go work your network. You want to call all the people that you are vibing with and say, who's an accountant that you trust? Who's a real estate agent that you trust? Right? Who's a web designer that you trust? And work your network. Get the recommendations from them. Then network that network. So once you've talked to those people, hey, Doris, who else do you know? Who else do you know? Who else do you know? And when all else fails, network. But network in places where the people that you need to know are hanging out. Personally, I don't like networking in big rooms of people at all. When I go on the marketers cruise, I'm in the big room when I have to speak or when someone else is speaking. But for the most part, I want to have, I want to sit and eat cheesy fries with somebody on the Lido deck and have a meaningful conversation. That's how I prefer to network. So I really like LinkedIn because I can be super strategic and I can actually connect with people there. So I do invite all of you to jot down my name and find me on LinkedIn and connect with me. Just let me know that you saw me here and I will connect with you right away. And it would be great because I love my LinkedIn connections. It's where I do most of my networking. Then what I told Dallas to do was, hey, you got your ambassadors. Great. Figure out how to collaborate with them. What tools are you going to use? Well, I'm going to pull out who are good connectors. Great. Who's the good, better, best? What's their psychology like? What is their vibe? What is their demographics like? And start training those partners and then track the results. If someone says they're going to do something, do they follow through? If someone promises something, do they honor the promise? Because I am totally happy to go first, you guys, and you should be too. Jay Facette has always said joint venture collaborations are a game of I'll go first. But never once has he said, and second, and third, and fourth, and fifth, and sixth, and seventh, and eighth. I mean, you got to lob the ball, but when it's on the other side of the net, if somebody doesn't hit it back, you're not playing ball. You're not playing tennis. So by all means, yes, go first, but track your results and make sure that your partners are collaborating back with you. Here's what happened for Dallas. In 2021, his revenue from his coaching business was $29,000. In 2022, after working with me for 11 months, he had earned $110,000, which was a 372% increase in his revenue. He was able to drop the all-night video production jobs and they purchased their new family home. And I speak with Dallas often. He's a referral ally of mine. And he told me that as of today, he has $250,000 on his books today, just at the end of Q1 by referral. So he's heading well into his multi-six, if not first $7 year by the power of relationship and referrals. So I'm curious how you're feeling right now. Drop an adjective in the chat. Are you inspired? Are you overwhelmed? Are you curious? Are you sick to your stomach? How are you feeling right now? Thanks, Andres. I'm just going to give you a minute. Challenged, inspired, knowledgeable. I love these adjectives. I love the words. All right, I'm going to wait for a couple more of you guys to drop something in the chat. Don't leave me hanging here. I feel like I got my hand in the air and I'm not getting the high five. Come on, give me a high five. Oh, Andres wants more. That's exciting, Andres, because I'm about to give you more right now. Yeah, inspired and overwhelmed. It's really great to know what's possible, but then have to wonder, like, how do I make it possible for me, right? So because I don't do this very often, I'm going to tell you because I'm a very busy person. I am a multipreneur. I am currently running 4 businesses and buying a 5th. So I don't usually do it, but you belong to Iman. And so for Iman's people, I am willing to open up my calendar to all of you and offer you a profitable partnerships strategy session. It's a 50-minute session where we will set out your referral KPIs, your key performance indicators. How many clients do you need to reach your goals this year? How many referrals do you need to get there? And how many partners do you need to cultivate in order to make that happen? Which just in and of itself, knowing what the KPIs are can make all the difference. The quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily action steps that you can take on a regular basis to make something happen. Because you know what? I believe in the law of attraction, you guys, but you know what the last letters of law of attraction are? Action. So just because you can be magnetically aligned to stuff, if you're not actually moving in the direction and taking the right actions, you're just not going to get there. So knowing what to do is what you need to do is half the battle. So the next thing that I'm going to show you how to do in this partner strategy session is we're going to uncover the hidden gold mine of opportunities that are already in your network. we'll take a quick look at where are you sitting? Are you mostly spending your time with acquaintances? Do you have some ambassadors? What do you have? So we'll take a quick snapshot of what you immediately know you have in your network. And I guarantee you, I can show you that you have more money in your network than you actually think. We're also going to outline your perfect partnership strategy. And I'm going to show you who are your centers of influence that can introduce you to pre-qualified, ready to invest clients. And it's not always what you think, because you know what? If you're trying to go for all the same partners, estate planning attorneys love financial advisors. That's all they want to talk to is financial advisors, financial advisors. And I'm like, why don't you talk to people that run hospices? Like, no, there's no estate planning attorneys running over to hospices. They're all blowing smoke all over the financial advisors. So you've got to get really creative about who is doing business with your clients in ways that you haven't even thought of yet. And so we'll brainstorm a few of those unique partners that you could cultivate to be able to bring you more referrals. And then we'll map out your referral roadmap, and we'll decide what strategies will transform your conversations into connections and turn your mere connections into a consistent revenue stream. So here's a QR code. If you have your phone handy and you want to sign up via this QR code, you can do that. I do see that Becky has put the link in the chat. I will let me drop my email address in here really quick as well. So if something happens and you can't find a time, or there are no times available, or God forbid my tech breaks, which, that happens too. You can get a hold of me, and you can also find me on LinkedIn. Now, I do have a limited number of seats. I think I have 10 spots available in the coming 3 or 4 weeks. It's a pretty busy month, but I would love to spend that time with you and see how we might work together. I also just want to let you know that I have 2 mentorship spots. So when you book your call, if you're like, I think I kind of want to go a little deeper, I do have some mentorship opportunities where we work together. And not only do we create your plan, but we have a whole accountability structure, and I open up my network to you, and I walk you in through my network and into the other networks that I know, and make sure that you are, as Aman said, he said, oh, she brings her people on the boat. Yes, I do. I bring all my people onto the marketers cruise so that they can practice networking and I can introduce them to that network. So I do take my people to those networks. So if that's something that you're interested in, I have that too. And Aman, curiously, the gal that is in the picture there is Sharon Otaguru, who I met about 8 years ago when you invited me to speak on this, like 8 years ago. And she called me and took me up on my mentorship offer. So I thought it was fitting to include that right here, because it's sort of a full circle moment. And so, yeah, if you're interested in the mentorship opportunity, it's the same exact link. You can just let me know what it is you're looking for help. So yeah, how many clients, Bruno? I'm not sure which one. How many clients? That one, the KPIs one. Yes. Okay. That's the KPI one. All right. So with that, Iman, I told you guys I talk very quickly, and you would be on a journey because I'm a fast talker. So we do have a little bit of time to chat. So
Awesome.
Bruno wanted the slide after that.
So Virginia, thank you very much. That was a great talk, fast-paced, on point. That was fantastic. A couple of questions for you in the chat box. One from earlier was, what is Jenny's podcast name?
It's called Badass Direct Sales Mastery, and she jokingly calls it the BDSM podcast, because we dreamed it up at the New Media Summit, Iman, and our tagline, I said, Jenny, you should have your podcast should be called BDSM, from stay-at-home mom to direct sales dom. Jenny will whip your business into shape. And then we were laughing about it. It was a joke, and we were laughing about it. And yeah, so It's pretty funny.
This is how we are,
Yeah,
where we are.
I'm a jokester and I'm kind of creative that way. So Bruno, I just don't know which slide it is that you're actually looking for. So probably the only thing I could do is maybe if you hit me up on LinkedIn, and I'll tell you what I'll do for you guys, what I do in my master classes. If you connect with me on LinkedIn, I'll connect with you. And then if you scroll down, go to my profile and scroll down where it says recommendations, and write a recommendation about this presentation. Like, hey, I was on this presentation and it was really great. And here's one thing that I learned and one thing that I loved. I'll send you the slides. How about that?
That's great.
Reciprocity, Amon.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Then you
Awesome.
can have all
Awesome.
the slides.
Perfect. Any other question from Virginia? And do we have the link to your, I didn't see the link to your calendar in the chat box. You have
Yep,
the
it's right.
link. Okay, got it, got it, got it.
Yeah,
It's in the
Becky just
event
dropped it
wrapper
again.
thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So I highly recommend to take Virginia on her invitation to the one-on-one roadmap strategy session, of course. She's done amazing work for many people, helping them to build their referral networks. And yeah, and Virginia, thank you very much for joining us, being with us on this call. And again, make sure to connect with Virginia on LinkedIn. And yeah, and with that, let's go to the chat box. Shout out to Virginia for her amazing presentation. And Becky, thank you very much also for running the tech of this event, and also all the work that you do for Entrepreneurs International Network. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And with that, that's almost bringing us to the end of today's call. We'll look forward to seeing you next week on Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific with another presentation. And with that, Virginia, any last minute thing that you wanted to share?
No, I just really and truly, if you are working on your first or second six figures, you're out there networking and you want to leverage it, I promise you, I can walk you through it step by step. I've been doing it for, God, 30 years, I'm on. Oh gosh, I've been doing it for a really long time and have helped a lot of people build between $250,000 and $500,000 businesses by the power of relationship. And you know what? You got to get from where you are to 100,000 to 500,000 on your way to whatever your goals are going to be. So whatever your goals are, I'm here to help you if you need my help. So thank you, Iman, for letting me meet your network.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you very much. Thanks everyone for joining us. I look forward to seeing you soon. Enjoy and bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.